when it comes to taking whatever the total budget is and sort of allocating it around content marketing, content creation, upper funnel, mid funnel content, SEO, syndicating of content, whether or not they want to do B2B influencer marketing, like some of that stuff, the ROI is going to be harder to demonstrate ahead of time, but you absolutely need it, more so now that we're losing targeting granularity. So what's your pitch to the CMO? Like, hey, we've got to invest more in sort of upper funnel content in order to feed the rest of the funnel.
Yeah, I mean, for us and me, the way we look at it is, again, going back to that aligning minds and really understand the buyer, in really making the ICP and building out TALs, again, based on fit and need, less about more like hard sort of, firmographic numbers. I mean, that's still important, but really understanding the need. Part of that process is we do a whole content gap analysis and say, because what happens with a lot of B2B brands is they got a lot of content, but it ends up being a lot of digital brochureware, which is still valuable content. But to me, that belongs in the middle of the funnel. You got to entice them into the funnel with more thought leadership, understanding the category, understanding their problems. And then once they're like, all right, I'm interested, then they need to like check the box, right? Like, what are the feature benefits of your product? Now I need that brochureware kind of mid funnel. And then what do you have kind of at the bottom of the funnel that's going to get them over that hurdle, right? Because that's the hardest part. You get a prospect to the 95 percentile sort of point in closing a deal. That last 5% takes like the longest to kind of get them to sign on the dotted line and cut a check, right? So, that's really making sure you have the right content that will help do that. Our head of strategy and creative always says that like our job in working with clients isn't to help them sell anything. It's to help their target buy something, right? And so if you think about that from the content and creative perspective, you're kind of turning that on its head a little bit. And when it comes to like earned media, there's a lot of SEO benefits, right? And I know that's near and dear to your heart, and one of the things we think a lot about is what is the role of SEO and ABM, right? And where does it fit in that sort of multi-touch? Because in addition to the content gap analysis, we also try and align channels against buyer stage. And what we do is we use a stepped approach to measurement, right? And thinking about step functions, right? Like not every KPI should be a registered user, a lead, or a closed won deal. It might just be somebody socially shared our white paper. Great, indication of intent, right? Or maybe we're optimizing mid-funnel campaign based on who spent at least 2 minutes on the website. The challenge for B2B though is this whole rabbit hole of a debate of gated versus ungated content.
Yeah.
How much do you gate to get the lead? But if that content's really good, well, you're getting no SEO love out of that content. You're not going to be showing up.